start off by just telling a little bit about yourself and your writing and kind of how you got started?
Yeah, so I'm Annie Sullivan. I mainly write young adult fantasy. So I have three young adult fantasy novels published. One is A Touch of Gold and its sequel, A Curse of Gold, about the cursed daughter of King Midas who has magic gold powers and goes on a
Oh,
quest to retrieve her father's stolen gold. And then I have Tiger Queen about a warrior princess who fights suitors in an arena to right to rule.
oh,
Um,
such fun
and then
ideas.
I've also have Oh, I know. I love reading things and just fun fairy tales and just fantasy books in general.
Right.
And then I also have a new picture book coming out actually in August, so very, very
Okay.
soon here. Yes, and it is called Goldilocks, not Goldilocks, Goldilocks and the Three Ghosts. So
Oh,
another
cute.
retelling. Yeah, so you can pre-order that one right now, coming out soon. But yeah, so those are kind of like my main books. And I got into writing even from a young age, I would say. Like even as a kid, I like to write like fun stories, do fun activities around writing. But didn't really get serious about it until college when my parents were kind of like, what are you gonna do with your life? And I was like, well, not great at math and science, but I do love writing and English. So I became an English major with a concentration in creative writing, an master's degree in creative writing from Butler University, and the rest is kind of history, as they say.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I love that. I love that story. And I'm right there with you. I loved writing when I was little too. And it's just something that kind of stays with you. I think when you start out having that dream as a little kid, coming up with stories, and I think the stories just keep finding you.
Yes, they do. I find you kind of at the right time when you need them.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like that comes into the next question perfectly. So, a lot of authors, this is kind of a love and hate question, sort of, for our authors. Where do you feel like you get your ideas? Where do you feel like they find you?
Everywhere. I mean, the idea for A Touch of Gold came about because of Pirates of the Caribbean, the movie,
Oh, funny.
just because there's like cursed in it, and I kept being like, huh, like what if you could like absorb that cursed gold and transport it or do something different with it? And it got me thinking about King Midas and his cursed gold and like what happened with it,
Yeah,
which of course led me to think about his daughter, and because I love to write about strong female protagonists.
yeah,
In fantasy settings. So like that's kind of where that idea came from for Tiger Queen. It was actually it's actually not a lot of people know, based off of a short story called The Lady or the Tiger,
Oh,
which if you've read, I recommend reading it. It's very short. It's in the public domain, so you can just go find it anywhere. It's known because it has an infamous cliffhanger ending.
oh,
And so for that one, I always wanted to kind of rewrite it, the ending that I always should have had.
yes.
Um, so my ideas come a lot from finding forgotten characters in stories, characters who maybe weren't given a fair chance to have a
Yeah,
story. King Midas's daughter in the original myth is just a means to an end. So he kind of realizes like, oh, I guess it was a bad idea to ask
right.
to turn things to gold because I turned my daughter to gold. So honestly, I get ideas all over from movies, other books, things people say.
Yeah,
Just about what if I combine this book and this book, what that give me? And then boom, you get an idea. So
I
I
love
think
it.
there's endless ways.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love the answer. And two, so you said the short story, that kind of inspired your Tiger Queen. What was that one called again? I think you kind of broke out a
Yeah.
little bit right there.
Oh, no worries. So it's called The Lady or the Tiger.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yes. And some people
Wow.
may know it because I mean, and actually I was taught that by my English teacher in seventh or eighth grade. Um, and it just always stayed with me. And so kind of like you
Wow.
can just stay with you and find you. And I actually ended up dedicating that book to that English just because of the impact that story had on me and how I
Oh, oh my, that's so
to
cool.
rewrite that. And
Did you end up going and finding that English teacher to give her a copy?
I did. She actually didn't know that I was dedicating the book to her. So she actually came to a lunch party and we were able to honor her there, give her some
Oh,
flowers. kind of surprise her. Her family was there, so it
Oh,
was a
that's
lot of
so
fun.
cute. I bet she ate that up and just loved it.
Oh, yes. Yes. And she's such a wonderful lady. I still see her often. And it's just special to have that connection with teachers still.
Yeah.
And knowing that if you're a teacher out there watching this, like you could have such a huge impact on your students and not even realize it until 20 years down down the road.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so true. Because I think back too to like, oh my gosh, fifth grade teacher. She was like so encouraging about writing stories for me. And like, I was bad at math, like horribly bad at math. Like, I would cry to sleep at night, like, not cry to sleep, but cry at the kitchen table having to do math. And it's like, it was awful. But she helped me with like the some of the math stuff, but she was like encouraging with the writing and stuff like that too. Because even if you're not good at a subject or not good at something, doesn't mean that you're not talented in other areas. So like those strengths and weaknesses that people have, and like you were saying, you didn't like math or science either.
Yes, I definitely cried during some math homework as well myself. So I'm not feeling well.
So the Tiger Queen, that I was like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, when you told me about that, I was almost like, oh my word, that's like the Colosseum mixed with like a princess, and like that is so cool. I mean, does it follow that short story quite closely, or is it how what else kind of caught your attention for that inspiration?
Well, okay, maybe I'll just spoil the short story for you guys because it's pretty short. So,
Okay.
the short story is about a barbaric king whose princess daughter falls in love with a peasant. And in that story, their form of justice or punishment is to throw the offender in the arena where there are two doors. Behind one door is a tiger. And if you pick that door, you get eaten.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the other door is a beautiful lady. And if you pick that door, you get to, marry her and go off and live,
Oh,
So you kind of have
wow.
these options. So when the king found out, his daughter's been in love with this peasant, you can't do that. You can't marry a peasant. So he throws this poor peasant boy in the arena. Well, the princess finds out what is behind each door. She knows where the tiger is and where the beautiful lady is. But she also realizes that that beautiful lady is her biggest rival, the woman she hates most in the world that she would never want her
Ah,
lover to end up with, right?
yeah.
So time comes in the arena, and the peasant boy looks up at the princess. He's like, help a guy out. Which door do I choose? She points him at a door. Door opens, and the story ends. You
Oh.
never find out pointed towards the tiger lady. And so mine is kind of an enemy lovers retelling, where things are a little different. They don't follow that exactly, but I do give the main character some more agency, where again,
Okay.
I told you she actually has to fight Suit and Arena to win her right to rule.
Mm,
And so that's kind of a little bit different. But there is kind of that voice at the end. And again, I just wanted to kind of always give it the thing that I thought it should have had. So
right.
what the ending should have been all these years later, about Tiger Queen. So
Oh
yeah, so it
my
doesn't
goodness.
follow the original, and I think that's kind of what makes retellings even better is the fact that you can explore things, expand on it, and kind of open it, make it its own mythology in its own way.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. I totally agree with you. I love that. Oh my goodness. So I love your ideas and like the creativity that you've come up with and how you're telling these stories. And are you working on anything new right now other than the children's book?
I am. I'm always working on several. I've got a couple young adult I'm shopping around right now. Some more like what we're calling like YA books. Kind of like I equate them with like Enchanted, like that kind of level.
Okay.
So we've got a couple of those in the works that I'm revising right now. I probably need to go email my agent and be like, "Hey, how's this thing?" And I'm always several new picture books, but they can be really hard to sell. It's a hard. I them are hard to sell sometimes. It's
I'm
just on
sure.
the market and buying what and who's already bought that season and what they have space for. So it's always just a weird of it's a weird history to begin with.
I'm
So
sure. Yes. Oh my goodness. So you're traditionally published then? You have an agent?
Yep, I have
Okay.
an agent. I am traditionally published. I actually sold the movie rights to the Touch of Gold book to the guy who did all the Batman movies. I don't really think anything is going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see what's
Oh, that'd be
happening.
really
Who
cool.
knows?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, well, that's great. And so, what advice do you have for authors out there who might be interested in either like being a hybrid author or traditional publish, with finding an agent?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, like write that book because you can't get traditionally published until that book is like unedited, like ready to go. So sit in that chair, work. Like that's the first thing you can do. Second thing, you really do need an agent. There are some traditional publishers that open it up to what they call like the slush file where you can like
Mm,
email them,
okay.
but you never know who's looking at that. They're probably not the person that you want looking at it, like I really suggest getting an agent if you want to go the traditional route.
Right.
And one of the ways to do that is like you look in my books in the back, you'll see the acknowledgments. I thank my agent as any good writer does. Um, so maybe if you write something similar to me, you can go in there and be like, I write similar to Annie, like is her agent, I should query that agent. And you can just go look up who that, like look at that person and find their
Hmm.
website because they have websites with very specific like instructions of like send me
Hmm.
this, like I want this email. And so or some of the like submission managers at this point where you just like submit through a form. But just make sure you follow that specifically. Like
Hmm.
if you don't follow their instructions, then you're not going to hear back from them.
Oh, right.
um it can take 6 months or more to hear back from an agent, so give
Wow.
yourself time, write your next book while you're waiting to hear back from this group of agents, so that just in case your first book doesn't sell, you have something else to keep working on.
Oh.
Try to send out again if that book doesn't catch their interest, because, like I said, the industry is always changing. Like
Hmm.
you never know, and you can't write to trends because by the time you write to a trend, it's already gone in the
Oh
writing
my
world because it
goodness.
takes like a year from when you get a book deal for it to come out. So by that time, it's passed you by. So hopefully
Wow.
that's
Oh
a
my
little
goodness.
bit of advice is, find the agents that are right for you by finding the writers who write similar things to you. And then, really just love and what you're passionate about and
Hmm.
making sure that you follow submission guidelines.
Yes, that's very important. So thank you for that information. I'm sure that'll be really helpful for people and everything. So, when you're starting a new project, do you feel like the character pulls you in first or the plot?
Ooh, honestly, I would actually probably say the plot.
Okay.
And that's only because I am a plotter, which sounds weird that way. So if you don't know, like some people are plotters where they know what's going to happen in a book. People
Yep.
like me are pantsers. I have no idea what's going to happen in the book until I kind of usually know, like, okay, this is where we're going to end up.
Okay.
And we may stop like here and here, but I don't know anything else.
Oh, wow.
And so for me, it's like I just have a lot of thinking about like, oh, well, this is fun. Like, what if I wrote about King Midas's cursed daughter and how to face pirates and thieves on her quest for father's gold back when it gets stolen, right? For me, that's really fun. So I don't know that character start. Like I build them as I write, which often means I have to go back and a lot of rewriting at the
It's
beginning.
really cool to see the answers of every author because it's so different. Like some get inspired by they get a character or a scene drops into their head or
Mhm.
a theme even. Some other people it's just the plot. It's so cool but so different how everyone they get their ideas but then they come out with a book completely different from the other author and it's so cool.
Yes, I wish I could be a plotter. Like that it'd make my life so much easier if I'm like, okay, this is what happens next. And then I already know.
Right,
Like, but for me, like it's the fun of not knowing, of like,
right.
because if I don't know, then you as my reader, you don't know what's gonna happen next. Like it's all just a fun
Yeah.
and we're all going for the ride. So I do kind of
Yes.
love that aspect of it too, though.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I've heard many people too say that, if I know the book, I don't really want to write it because it's already been written,
Yeah.
like even
Like
if
I've
it's an
already
outline.
had fun playing out the story. Yeah, exactly. Like it needs fresh where I'm like, ooh, how am I gonna get out of this? Like, back themselves into. Like I'll
Yes.
figure.
Oh my gosh. So, what does a day in the life of writer Annie look like for you?
Well, I do have a day job, so it's usually like doing the day job And then when I'm actively writing, it's usually like I'll kind of sign off the day job, maybe grab some dinner, and then come back to writing about 8 p.m. at night, and then write for a couple hours. I try to write like minimum 500 words a day when I'm actively writing, and sometimes that's super easy, and I breeze past it, and I'm writing 3,000 a day. But sometimes, depending on where I am in the story, it can be like pulling teeth to get those 5 words, because maybe I know the character well enough yet, so I'm kind of
Yeah.
feeling that out, and so that can be a little as I kind of build that character to also, so that can be hard. If I'm actively revising, like let's say I have a book deal and my editors come to me and they're like, okay, here's your 10-page edit letter, here's everything you need to work on, then it'll be more I'll sign off of my day job from like 5 p.m. to like 2 a.m.
Wow. Yeah.
Bed and get up and do that again and again, like 2 or 3 weeks, depending on when the due date is, because they don't often give you a lot of time to revise. They're usually
Okay.
like, okay, we need this back in like 3 weeks, and you're like,
Wow.
okay, great, I'll do that for you. So yeah, it can be a lot sometimes. So I
Okay.
kind of like take those breaks where I can, and so I encourage authors to build a really good support network around themselves too, because maybe you need someone to make you dinner during that time or do your laundry thing. So like, find those people who are going to help you, whether it's your parents, your friends, your mentors, who will just like help give you even just the encouragement to keep going.
Hmm.
You're like, I'm exhausted, I don't know what I'm doing, like, all that
Oh
good
my
stuff.
goodness. I love that. That's
So,
great.
since
Since we're on a road trip right now in your state, what things in your state do you think that people should definitely check out if they were coming to your state to visit?
I would definitely say check out the Children's Museum in Indianapolis, because I'm in Indiana. Yay, go Hoosiers.
Yay!
Because it's a world-class children's museum. And actually, if you go to like Google Earth, you can see it because it has these huge like life dinosaurs like breaking out of the building. And so you can like see them like aping down the street. It's really fun.
Funny.
And it's not just for kids. I know it's a children's museum, but everyone loves it. It's lots of fun stuff to do there. So definitely that. And maybe this if you like zoos. Um, Maybe go up to Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. You could definitely stop over there. There's a cool grotto there. Let's see what else. Oh, you can stop up at my favorite pizza place in Bloomington, Indiana, which is called Mother Bear's. Oh,
Cute. Oh my
Jessica,
word.
it's delicious
So
pizza. I
good.
love Mother Bear's.
Oh,
Um, yeah, there's trying to think. There's like a couple cool parks you do. Turkey Run State Park. I like hiking at Fort Ben. That's a fun one. So yeah, lots of things that you can do in Indiana that oh, yeah, I'm just driving through there,
I
If you're
love
here in
it.
August, the state fair about to start, you can go and milk a cow. You can watch and okay, I can't believe I'm saying this. Please don't judge us. And I've actually never been. Okay, I've never been, but it happens. There is a llama, yes, the animal, the llama costume contest at the
Oh
state
my
fair every
gosh, that's
year.
hilarious. That sounds like
Come
it
watch that.
belongs in a rom-com.
Right? I know. Like, please go look up pictures. Like, these people are like dead serious about their llama
Oh
costumes. Like,
my word,
they
that's
are
hilarious.
intense. Yeah. Oh, another thing, actually, every year it's a big deal. So you'll see me there usually every year is Gen Con, which I think
Oh,
is the largest like board game or like gaming convention in the
okay.
United States, not the world. And it is like 70,000 people all like
Wow.
learning about board games. Like they have, and there's costume content, not for llamas. These are for humans. So I will be dressed up. I think going as Glinda from Wicked, one maybe
Fun.
Anastasia animated movie Anastasia Day. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. People dress up. It's kind of like Comic-Con without like the celebrities and panels. It's mostly just
Sure.
about like board games, and you can come try out new games. Like people stay up all night gaming. Like it's actually kind of ridiculous. Sometimes they have to like be like, "Hey, we just want to remind people, please go and shower, brush your teeth. Like please remember hygiene is important over these like 4 days." Like
Actually, with so many people.
yes, yes, and it's intense. Like, but yeah, if there's like a game you play, you will find people who like to play it.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. That is definitely something to check out if a person's there at that time and everything. That's cool. You were to take your two main characters, the love interest. If they at the very end of the book were to go on a road trip, where would they go? And it might look different than our world today for a road trip, but you can definitely tell us what you think that would be.
I think they'd probably go from Arizona. They'd probably start in Arizona
Yep.
because they live in kind of a desert set.
Oh,
So I feel
cool.
like they would feel at home in Arizona, and they would either travel to like California to see the coast, or I'm actually thinking, why not just go to New York and see Niagara Falls? Like that's where they're going because they live in a kingdom where there's very little water. And so that's of course
Okay.
also very hard on them. And that becomes a main element of the plot as well, is that these people have no water and they're in the desert.
Wow.
And so that's a problem, right?
Yes.
And Terry, the main character, is kind of a problem, right? If she's going to be the next ruler, figure out how she's going to solve this. So I think
Yeah.
in Niagara Falls, they would just be like blown at all that water.
Oh my gosh.
So
They would be like, oh my word, that's a lot of water. Oh my
they'd be
word.
like, "What is happening?"
Oh my
They're like,
goodness.
"We didn't know this much water existed." Well, so I think they would enjoy seeing.
Oh, that is a cool answer. And then what treats, because a road trip's never right without snacks or treats of some sort. What kind of treats or snacks would they bring with them?
Ooh, thinking like gummy bears, just because they're skin water like, and they'd be like, this is delicious. I want to say Cheez-Its, but just I love Cheez-Its. Like
Uh-huh.
I feel like man, yeah, I'm trying to think what else they would bring. Like maybe like something, good and healthy. Be like,
Yes,
yeah, we gotta like stay in good shape because they gotta go fight in the arena. Like,
right.
man, if you're into that kind of stuff, like, yeah, you're gonna need it because kind of one of the instigating moments is that Kateri, like I said, the main character, the princess, um, the next suitor that she's supposed to fight is the one man she's never been able to beat in a fight. And he's also the most cruel man she's ever met. And so
Oh
she's like, I
boy.
have to beat him at any cost. And
Yes.
that might just mean teaming up with someone that she never thought she would team up with
Ooh.
to try and beat this person. And so I don't want to give too much away,
Right.
but yeah, so I think she wants to be healthy and strong, so she'd
Yes.
be eating some vegetables too
And
there.
then
Oh
if
yeah.
you were to go on a road trip, what is the number one book? Maybe it's a book you've gone back to over the years, the book you would bring with you for your comfort read.
Mhm.
A really hard question, I know.
I know. I'm trying to think. It might be Kiss of Deception, Greg Pearson. If you have not read that one, the new shift in that is just like mind-blowing. It's spectacular. I do love Stephanie Garber's books, so maybe Caraval. Um, I would love that world again.
Oh,
And
that's
so maybe that one.
cool. Where can people find you and your books?
Yes, well, you can find books online wherever books are sold. And then you can find me online. I'm not as active because I'm old and cool, but you can find me on TikTok. I think it's like author Annie Sullivan. You can find me on Instagram. We're a little bit more active. Um, I think it's like ANSULLIVA. Again, I know that's like weird, but just search Annie Sullivan, you'll find me eventually. I'm really
Perfect.
active on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, come find me. I'm there with the old people. So come Facebook.
You're not old.
Well,
That's
it's
so
perfect.
lovely to chat with you, Annie. And I look forward to following you, reading your books, spotlighting your books, and also continuing to follow you and getting to know you more.
Oh, well, this is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You have a great rest of your day, and
All right. You too. Take care,
talk to you
okay?
later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for riding shotgun on the Romance Reading Road Trip. I'm so excited for you to be joining this journey with us. Be sure to go down to the video description below and sign up for the passport. You're not going to want to miss out on it.